Hey, what's going on, guys? Mangumson here, bringing you another Destiny 2 video, and this one's going to be about the Lorentz driver, right? I think I'm saying that right. Lorentz driver. Now, as you watch this background gameplay footage, I want you to pay attention to my abilities and their cooldowns when I end up picking up the telemetry that the Lorentz driver makes, right? There's some special things that the Lorentz driver does, right? We're going to go over that all in the video, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you will see the Gambit gameplay of me using the Lorentz driver in Gambit, right? You're going to see it in PvP. Not too good with it. There's been a lot of little mobility changes with how Destiny works, so still kind of getting used to it. So right off the bat, kind of trash with the Lorentz driver, but hopefully you guys can see the impact that this is going to have for people who are actually good with it. Watch that ability energy regen when I pick up that telemetry. Now, if you guys want me to go over my Gambit build that you're going to see the Gambit gameplay at the end of the video, just go ahead and hit a like. And I know for future videos that I'll go over the build that I use to demonstrate the weapon's power. Now, the Lorentz driver has Arrowhead Break, and it does have the enhanced battery along with EM Anomaly, a special trait for the Lorentz driver. Precision final blows to the weapon creates an implosion that pulls in nearby enemies and causes an explosion, void explosion at that, with a compensator stock, but that just gives us just a little bit more stability, so the weapon is a complete booty cheeks. Now, when you have this weapon, it will do a passive targeting on an enemy. It will mark an enemy. That's what it says. It marks an enemy. Think of it as the foe tracer. I think that's what it's called. The foe tracer that ends up tracking enemies through walls. It gives you that a little bit of that target on the enemy. Now, the enemy that's marked, that enemy will stay marked no matter if you're aiming down sights, where that mark goes away, so you don't have complete wall hacks with it, right? Now, when you kill that marked enemy, it will drop the telemetry on the ground. I don't think Bungie could have came up with a worse word for that, but because we know that telemetry isn't good for anything in the game. I don't know how much gunsmith telemetry you have, but I don't want to end up picking it up. Now, going back to the Lorentz driver's EM Anomaly, right? It does that gravitational pull, bringing the enemies in, and that ergonomic pull that it does is insane. It will draw in an enemy around, I want to say that's around 10 to 11 meters, you know. Bungie doesn't do anything in odd numbers, but it pulls enemies in real close, real tight. So EM Anomaly in PvE, good. At 3 stacks with the telemetry, way better. It gives you 30 seconds of increased bonus damage, and the ability regen is really good for stasis subclasses. Probably even better for a hunter on their middle tree, Night Stalker, crouch type deal. You get the headshot, you get wall hacks, and combining that with getting that telemetry back, it's quite disgusting. But when a warlock has it in his hands, you'll see that in the Gambit gameplay. But the telemetry pickup, that's Wellspring on crack. So this enemy, I guess at some point he was marked, he dropped the telemetry. I don't think that there's a true consistency right now with marking enemies in that telemetry. It just seems like it wants to drop telemetry whenever it wants. But what is also good about the Lorentz driver is when you do end up getting the telemetry, you end up getting the stacks and all that, you can actually stow the weapon and it doesn't lose its bonus perks for the remainder of the timer that it has active. So you can collect some stuff, get some kills. You can get kills with your primary weapon on that enemy that was quote unquote marked, and they will still end up dropping that telemetry. Now, passive buff, you see that? Boom. I knew he was coming. He didn't know I was there, right? I don't have eyes in the back of my head, so those guys got the jump on me. But in that gunfight, that guy did not see me coming, but the passive buff with him getting marked through the wall, that'll probably end up getting nerfed. I don't want to keep using the nerf thing that Bungie, but they put this gun out here pretty powerful. I can see them changing it later to marked enemies will only be marked within line of sight. I think that's what they end up doing with the foe tracer. You had to be in line of sight for it to be marked. But right now, this thing just activates when it wants and lets you know that, hey, there's an enemy through that wall right there, and he has been marked. So it will end up changing the way that you engage in gunfights, because you don't really need to pay attention to the radar that much for a one-on-one gunfight when the Lorentz driver does get its randomized marking mechanic back. So just taking that into consideration, that the enemies that are marked, they stay marked even though they don't permanently stay marked, but when that person dies, you will get your telemetry back. Bonus damage, charge with light, high energy fire. I can see this potentially one-shot body shot in a Guardian that has 5 resilience or less, but the Gambit gameplay is planned. If you guys want me to go over the Gambit loadout at the end of the video, just go ahead and leave a like on this video. I know for the next time I upload my next exotic explanation. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.
Transmat ready. Give me those moots, and I'll make you rich, sister. I promise. Hostiles inbound at the steps. Invading. Your allies back with 4 kills. Spot a high-value target. Give them hell! Hostiles incoming at the base. Yeah! High-value target. Allies invading the other side. Your allies back. 2 kills. Hostiles inbound at the steps. Portal is back. That primeval's compromised. Hit it with everything you've got. Invader inbound. Hunt! Enemy invader is down. You can breathe now. forget you killed a god or two. Where'd you learn to shoot like that? If you're ever looking to make extra glimmer, you come find me.